Alright, welcome to Banished, and how I conquered the game in 10 hours, and what it means to conquer Banished. How can you conquer Banish? Well, here's the metrics that I look at. First, do you have all of the trade goods? Do you have all of the, do you have all the types of fruits and vegetables and livestock? And I do. I have them all. The last thing that I got, I believe, was wheat. But yeah, we'll take a little tour around here. Of course, we're going to speed it up to get into summer planting season, so we can, when we look at all these things, we can see what they are. Of course, we've got the sheep. We've got a full pasture here. Sheep, they give you meat and wool. Wool can be used to make coats. So all the livestock are dual purpose. Cattle, you get leather and meat. Leather can be used to be made coats. And then chickens, you just get a double food. You get eggs and meat as well. So we'll look at the different crops. I believe I have every type of crop being planted as well now too. And not that I need to do that, but I certainly have the capability. So we'll just let this advance a little bit longer so we can see all the crops here. We have walnut. That's a walnut orchard. And most of these fields are full size. Orchards are full size. Over here we have chestnuts. So chestnuts right there. So in this crop we have beans. This is what I started this game with, was cabbage and beans. And beans can be a decent crop. Cabbages are okay. The neat thing about beans and cabbage is they get harvested the cabbage is a later harvest. So you're almost guaranteed your full bean crop every year. So we'll just go down to one time on this. So we've got cabbage, beans, sheep, chestnuts, walnuts. This was a much later corn. I got much later, and the corn is what absolutely changed the game for me. And I will show you what corn did for me when we look at the graphs here. This is a later addition as well, the potato. I got potato after corn. And as you can see, my stockpiles I'm not running out of any firewood. I was battling low fuel and firewood for years until I built about 9 woodcutters. So we'll just take a little tour here. The other metric that I have for conquering Banished is that every house is a stone house. Every single one. There's no wooden houses. That's the other metric. Okay. And the reason being on that is the wooden houses require more fuel. Stone houses are more efficient. So every house we have here, of course, these things you're seeing aren't houses. It's a gatherer's hut, a hunting cabin, storage barns. So we jump over to some more crops over here. More corn. And then wheat. Wheat was one of the last ones I came across. And actually, yeah, wheat was the last seed that I came across for me to, quote-unquote, conquer the game. And beans, you can see it's an early harvester here. So we have beans. Moving on to more orchards. This was the first fruit tree that I got, was a peach. And I got this by trading, and we'll cover that here shortly. The peach I use exclusively in the tavern to make ale. Ale's a very good trade good. Again, some more stone houses. Another metric that I have for conquering the game is to have all of your walkways and roadways in stone. No dirt roads. That's another metric that I have. Okay, and you'll notice that all the walkways and roadways we have are stone. See some more corn. More corn. And I will zoom out here. But right now we're doing the more intimate look at everything. Squash. And really, some of these crops I just grow. I really feel like the population should have a variety of nutritious foods. So even though I could just have probably corn and walnuts, I don't personally feel morally right about just offering people that. So I still have, you see, I still have conquered this game. I still have unharvested stone and iron in the fields, plenty of full growth trees, deer. And so anyway, we have, here we got potatoes. That's a crowd pleaser. Everybody loves the potatoes. More corn, and into another orchard, the cherry. This cherry orchard. Here's a beautiful, colorful crop, the pepper plant. Look at that. Oh, that's actually a citizen. Very happy, 5-star happy, 5-star healthy. And that is a pepper crop field. Something I'm pretty excited about. You can see no shortage of logs there. In fact, my Forester Lodge have reached the upper limit of the log limit, so they've actually stopped working. Look how, but they plant and they cut. Okay. So anyway, something I'm pretty happy about too is these little micro crops. This is kind of a larger housing division that we put up, and I wanted to. I was kind of running into a food crisis, which I'll show you in the graphs. So we did these micro gardens, and so somebody's growing corn, somebody's growing cabbage, somebody's growing potatoes. Somebody grew beans there. Here's pumpkins, potatoes, more pumpkins. So really happy about that. Huge stockpiles of stone, wood. We get to 2 mostly empty quarries. We have, those are not even our original quarry is up here. Original mine is right here, and we built 2 more mines. Another metric for conquering the game is to have your entire population in church. So I've got 2 chapels, enough to hold a population of over 400. That's another metric for winning. What else do we have? Cemeteries. Again, stone houses all around. Plenty of markets with vendors. And we get over to some more crops over here. More corn. These are 4 corn. Each having their own storage barn. Look at those 2 full storage barns. And this market's nearly full nearby. More orchards. We have apples. Okay. And some pecans. Those were a later addition, those pecans. I've got plenty of space to keep building out. Plenty of space. I got another quarry here under construction, and another one that's just finished construction. I got a mine here that's not being used. Tons of unharvested natural resources on the ground here. More cornfields. Plum orchard, pumpkin patch. And I've got the chickens here. Here's the eggs will show up that we were talking about right in the corner there. More sheep, and I don't think we talked about what we saw the cattle over on the other side of the map. So plenty of chicken and sheep. I got a fisherman dock. I got somebody fishing right now with some fish ready to be taken to the market. Again, a nearly full market. I've got woodcutters that have reached the fuel limit of 12,000, which is huge. So they're not even working right now. Another little micro crop, and another little housing addition early on here. All stone houses, running right up into the nature's edge there. Just built another cemetery here on the island. Few graves there. So, and that takes us back to the trading post, the original church, the full original graveyard of the 12 founding members of this town, and then the town center. So one of the graphs that I want to show you is well, first of our population graph. Now that huge spike that we saw, but almost took us to 500, was a few batches of nomads. But really what was the precursor to us being able to do that was right in around here. Right here I got these corn seeds. And once I put in 4, from about here to here is about 4 fields of corn that just exploded our food reserves, which allowed us to take in a lot of nomads and immigrants up at this time, which then causes a huge shrink in food production. Actually, year to year, that's the 100-year. If you look at like the 5-year, shows it very clearly. Like this is in the probably in the summer is this low point, and then this is harvest season, and then winter starts and it takes us down right through here's about springtime planting, and then harvest, and then winter planting, harvest. So that's the agricultural cycle. And some of what I did to get out of that was actually do a massive crop expansion. When I got down to this low point is when we started putting in these smaller plots around people's houses, and then really this expanse right here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can even see how they were kind of hastily built. They were built in a hurry and desperation, and then these 4. So these 4 crops, and then those, and then the micro plots is what got us got us back on the upward trajectory. And the way I was able, and once I was able to get corn, then I could start storing as much corn as I wanted to at the trading post. I mean, I could take this up. I think 9999 is the max, 9999, and then I could buy. Basically, anybody that would trade for food, I could buy any seeds they had. So once I had corn, then I bought any kind of seed that came through that I didn't have. I got every type of crop. I was starting to buy stone, and I had enough stone for. I'd be buying steel tools, warm coats, even stuff I didn't need, just to ensure. And what would happen is these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 markets all started getting filled up with steel tools, iron tools, firewood, logs. And then right now, I always thought it was kind of silly, but right now I employ, let's look at some of the stats. So this is kind of tiny, and there's no way to really make it bigger. The vendor slot. I have 40 people working for the vendor right now as a vendor. And the vendors, so that's about 8 per market. So these vendors are basically equally distributing goods amongst all the different stockpiles. Let's say I only produce potatoes down in this field right here. But these people up here they want potatoes. This vendor from this market will go all the way over here with a wheelbarrow, grab some potatoes, and take it up here. And while they're doing that, let's say I have a lot of extra firewood up here, and they don't have any firewood down here. They'll take firewood down there, and vice versa. You'll see that with cattle. I mean, for a while, the only people that ate beef were the people on this side of the map until I had enough markets. And now you can see, for instance, the inventory in this person's. Well, they don't have any beef in here. They got plenty of everything else. And in fact, I don't see beef in that market. Well, who knows? Who knows what's going on there? But there is beef, plenty of beef in this market. So anyway, I guess as long as they're full, they're happy. So those are the metrics I have for conquering the game. Now, why do I say conquer? Because it's now, if you want to play the game, now what it comes down to is building more houses so you can have more population, so that you can have more fields, and that you can just eat up more of the map. I mean, I probably will, not on this map, but maybe on another map, or maybe on this one, go for like try and shoot like for population 10,000 or something on Banished, like set a record for the Banished population. But it would be a very ugly map, right? Your houses would be right next to each other. There'd be no space. People would be living on top of each other. And, you know, I mean, I took a little extra time. There's plenty of space in between houses. See, I could have had them a lot closer, right? You know, I could have had this one right there. Well, no, I had it out there, and I got its own little stone walkway out there. You know, here's just one house. This guy's got their own house, and I should do something nice, like, you know, I make a little. Here we go. There you go. Now you got a little sidewalk going to your house there. I put up 3 taverns. So this one's making apple ale. Where's the other? The other tavern, I believe, is right here. They're making apple. Let's have them make cherry ale. There we go. And then finally, let's just check the overall. So my happiness is only 2.5 from this, which I'm not very happy about that. Very healthy, but only 2.5 happiness. And some things that affect happiness are, the very last thing I did was I put up additional cemeteries, and I built an additional church, and then I put up 2 more taverns. So, you know, the happiness metric I'm not 100% sure on. Some of it might be like these 9 woodcutters, they don't have anything to do, and maybe they're not happy about it. You know, I don't know, other than just, you know, I can increase the fuel limit, so now they can start working again. I don't know if that's going to make them happy. I don't know if I really care, and I don't consider it a metric for conquering the game. So I've seen that grow and change. I've seen massive die-offs of people, and then all of a sudden the happiness is 5. So there's really no rhyme or reason on the happiness. Not going to count it as a winning metric. Again, all stone houses, having all of the seeds for all the trees, fruits, vegetables, having all paved roads. That's what I consider conquering the game. If you can get to that level, you know, there's pretty much nothing else to do. You've built everything, right? You've got multiple hospitals, churches, cemeteries. I guess the only thing I don't have is a well, because I think I played this with disasters off. I should note that I'm not trying to, you know, make a video like, look how good I am. No, I played with disasters off and easy, which means high starting resources. So anyway, I never even had to build a well. So, but yeah, I've got all the pasture animals, all the orchards, all the crop fields, fishing lodges, hunting cabins, gathering huts. What else is there? I don't have a tunnel anywhere. I haven't built a tunnel. I didn't see anywhere that was feasible to, like, cost benefit to have a tunnel anywhere. I mean, other than the fact of just having a tunnel. So I didn't see any sense to that. I do have several bridges. I had plenty of wooden houses, but I upgraded them all. Oh, I don't have a boarding house. You know what? Wow, I do not have a boarding house. So that is interesting. Well, that's going to put a whole new strain on the location wherever I put this. Let's put the boarding house. Well, first of all, let's see what this. I forgot all about boarding houses. Let's see what this guy has to trade. Cabbage seeds, I have them. Walnut seeds, pepper seeds, I have them. This person doesn't have pumpkin seeds, I have them. There's nothing I need from them. So, but yeah, boarding house. That's interesting. Let's put boarding house. Yeah, let's put a boarding house. Let's put it on the island. Wouldn't that be interesting? If no, that wouldn't be interesting. Sort of. Let's put a boarding house at the edge of these cornfields here. Yeah. Perfect. And that's just, let's see, let's build that and see who moves in. I guess that's the other. That was an option for me to put up a few boarding houses rather than a bunch of small stone houses. But the appeal of the boarding house, it never really even appealed to me. So I am going to increase the time back to 10 so that this boarding house gets built. I do have a lot of stone roads going up now. In fact, oh, there we go. Someone's clearing it. And I do have people working on it. I'm going to reduce the foresters and increase the builders. Just get this done, get this knocked out. And I want to see how many people move in there, because there's really two things that I did that really drastically increased my population. A was nomads, but B was building a lot of houses, which allowed people to move into houses and start having kids. For instance, if you start seeing a house with like 7 people in it, like let's just click on any house. Okay, there's 4. There's 3, 2, 4, 2. That's not bad. When you start clicking on every other house and it has 6 people in it, people aren't going to have any more babies, because you can see a house can only 3 plus. I mean, it can only hold so many people. There's a maximum amount. So anyway, let's see if anyone even moves into that boarding house. I'm sure they will. But anyway, boarding houses have been an easy thing to build and to have them ready to go for when nomads come in, and if you want to take in nomads. At this point, if nomads came here, I've already turned them down. I would say no, because I just don't. What else is, like I said, what else is there to do? This is a beautiful, beautiful map with plenty of natural landscape in it still. Plenty of, if I want to put in some gatherers' huts, I mean, look at all these wild mushrooms, wild herbs, wild onions, you know, unquarried stone just sitting out in the field still, and other mineral deposits, deer just grazing without the, no fear. This is a natural place where people can just, I don't even have a road going to these quarries. I just don't care. I don't, at this point, I just don't even care. I don't even need the stone I've got. What else do I need? I'm not planning on building anything else other than this, this boarding house, which is 45 stone and 100 logs. The 100 logs are already there. I don't know how much stone I think we saw plenty of stone ready to go. Over here, I have plenty of stone. It's just a matter of somebody walking it over there and getting that thing done. So that'll be just a matter of time. That's probably my only complaint, is the order of, right now, if I want this to go up in priority, apparently there's this button right here that says increase priority. And I don't know if that did it or not. So. I've got a lot of stone roads being built still, so all these builders are going to come there and build that. What else we got? That's pretty much it for building. I'm glad we went through. Oh yeah, I was talking about tunnels. I don't have a tunnel. I didn't see a point to go anywhere. I can't remember. I don't think this game you don't build things that go to, you don't build roads and tunnels that go to, off-worlders. Yeah, no. you don't do that. So, no sense in building a tunnel. What else that's I could pass along here? You can only have one town hall. Corn was huge for me. Corn was the game changer for me. It took a long time to get there. There were, for the first 6 hours of this game, it wasn't just like, it was work. And that's 6 hours playing on 10x speed. You know, there was a lot of work, and there was a point I wasn't sure of. Maybe I was going to start all over. But I just stuck through it, and eventually corn came along, and it was just, it was boom times. It became very, very resource rich very quickly. Once in that in the first 3 seasons of corn, I went from having a few people die of starvation every single winter to having 10 times more food in there than I could ever. My storage became full. That's how bad it was. I got a problem where I didn't have enough storage for all of it. It was insane. So we'll just build this boarding house sort of as a fun little, there you go, boarding house. Let's see who moves in. If anybody moves in, and you know, just to kind of dress this up, we'll do a little like that, you know, like that. I don't really want to knock down the trees. It's a nice tree. So then we're going to put some stone around it. Just kind of, you know, it's a nice boarding house, right? Plenty of room to get around all over the place there. And, you know, still, nobody's even in it. Nobody's decided to move in yet. But if I did accept 30 nomads, they would all move in here immediately. And I don't know how much room there is here, but there's, yeah, 1, 2. So I could put a couple of these up if I wanted to keep playing, and I probably would do that. I could put a couple of these up, and when nomads came to town, I would say, yeah, sure, move on in. But so in fact, look at this, the food limit. I put a 90,000 limit on food. So once we have 90,000 food, if there's crops in the field, people don't even pick them. You know, they just let them go. So yeah, I mean, I could afford to feed more people, but just not interested. You know, I'm going to start shutting down some of these fields. Don't need them. So that's conquering. Conquering Banished is when you don't need to do anything else with the game. You know, if you want to do other things, I built this bridge here. I could keep expanding. Why? It's just a beautiful, beautiful place over here. You know, there's no reason. I might put one house out here. You know, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna put one little house. It'll be a wooden house. One wooden house. And if someone really wants to live out here, you know, then they can. That's all I'm gonna do. That's the only thing that's gonna be on this entire part of the map is one. Maybe I'll put a couple. You know, maybe I'll put another wooden house over here. You know, that's when you know you've conquered Banished. When you're just like, you know what? Half the map, 2 wooden houses. We're good. No bridges, no tunnels, no sidewalks. They're going to have to hoof it. In fact, you know, could I put a house, for instance, back here? No. I could almost put one here. If I could put one here, I would build a tunnel just to get to it. But yeah, no. So that's where we're at. That's conquering Banished. Let's see if there's any charts or maps that we missed. Food. Number of citizens. Let's look at the 50 years on that. Their health, their happiness. Happiness comes and goes. Education level. That's interesting. It looks like when the education dipped, maybe that had a trailing effect on their happiness. Stone. This is the 50-year map again. Logs. So you can see food. Once food went up, then my citizens could focus on logs. Stone. Iron. You got firewood. Coal. Tools, herbs, clothing. That was tough to keep up with the clothing, really. Alcohol, that's a good one. And textiles, so. Yep, there's that inventory. It's a good snapshot. So here's the items that are just kept in people's homes. I remember every winter this number of food would get down to 0 and I'd have people dying of starvation. You know, now it's 8,000. 38,000 in storage. It's insane. And then what I keep at the trading posts. Yeah, so that's just corn is what I'm talking about. Corn, wheat, and beans. Those are the 3 big ones. The other ones are kind of, you never get huge you never get huge numbers like that. It's just one wheat or one corn or one bean field produces so much more than one potato field or one squash field or one pepper field. So. All right, well. Yeah, that's, there we go. And our happiness has gone up half a point just since we made the video, and our health has gone down half a point. So go figure. I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason. Oh, here we go. Nomads. You know what? Let's let them in. Let's allow the nomads in. Let's see if they go to that boarding house. Yeah, I want to fill up that boarding house. Where is it? Oh, now it's got a bunch of people. Did they all? They all must have just moved in there. There's no way. Yeah, they must have all just. They did. Yeah, they all came right in there. Yep. Oh, they brought a bunch of stuff with them. Let's see what's in the inventory already. Apples, beans, cabbage, wheat, berries. Just all sorts of stuff. Yeah, we've hit the food limit again. I better... I could increase it. Can't even increase it fast enough. So, you know, that, like I said, that's when you beat Banished, when you can just let crops wither and go to waste in the field. When you can just, on a whim, let in 30 nomads. You know, there was a time where you'd let in 30 nomads knowing half of them were not going to make it through the winter. Yeah, you threw them to the stone quarry and that was it. So, let's see what this... Walnut seeds, peach seeds. That's what this trader's offering me. Don't need it. Sayonara. See you later. Yeah, we got plenty of everything. Markets are holding. These storage barns are full. You know, there's just... so when this says limit reached, I wonder if they're still collecting the wool. And if they're still collecting the eggs. That's my only concern. I've never seen a livestock hit a food limit before. So. Anyway, there it is. We built a boarding house. We conquered the game. So I could go and build 6 houses, and these people would maybe move out of the boarding house, and that'd be that. We're going to go check one more thing before we end it here. How did that nomad boom affect my population here? Yeah, there was that right there. That was 30. That's almost 10% population increase. So what you can see is that, yeah, over the last 5-10 years, I've been steadily declining, but that's just from natural causes. That's from old age. So you gotta let nomads in to kind of keep that population going. If I didn't let any more nomads in, maybe, you know what? We'll do that video. I could do that video. So we'll call it Banished Plus, where you no longer take in any more nomads and see what happens to your big map. And maybe there's only a dozen people alive at the end of it. Who knows? You know, because how could I still afford to have, you know, that's why they're not happy. I didn't have a preacher. I didn't have a preacher in the church. No wonder they're not happy. Yeah, I didn't have a preacher in either one. So now everybody's in church. Okay. Yeah, those are some jobs where people have to be. Didn't have a blacksmith. Yeah. Didn't have a school teacher. Gee whiz, what's going on here? Farmer. So a lot of people died from just old age. Now I have to deal with less vendors so that I could have another teacher. Yep. Another physician. I got plenty of woodcutters, plenty of foresters. My herdsmen were looking a little low. And even my farmers, even though I don't really need them. But. So anyway. Did that have an effect on our... Oh yeah, that brought the happiness up, having another church. Okay, there we go. You know, there's things at 10 speed that you just can't... I just can't keep up with. I don't really... I mean, you have to constantly... You can. You just can't be giving someone a tour of your entire house on 10 speed or your city or country or whatever you want to call this thing, and then be expected to keep up on whether or not you have a preacher employed or not. So, that's where we're at. That is the video. How I beat Banished in 10 hours. So, I'm glad to know that you wholeheartedly agree with my assessment of how Banished can be conquered. And thanks for agreeing with me 100% on that. Thanks very much. And have a good rest of your day. Take care.